Let's begin with a fundamental truth. Your body doesn't grow stronger during your workout. It grows stronger after it, if you recover correctly. And there's one habit above all that governs this process: sleep. High-quality sleep is not just a passive state. It is an active biological process that drives cellular repair, hormonal balance, and muscle regeneration. During deep sleep, particularly slow-wave sleep, your brain initiates a cascade of neurochemical events. Growth hormone surges, inflammation reduces, and protein synthesis accelerates. This isn't optional for athletes or high performers. It's foundational. Your nervous system resets. Muscle fibers damaged during training begin rebuilding stronger. Cognitive function necessary for coordination, motivation and focus sharply improves. This is where adaptation happens. No supplement, no recovery shake, no gadget can replace this. Timing matters. Sleeping in sync with your circadian rhythm, ideally sleeping before midnight and waking at consistent times, supercharges these benefits. Environmental and behavioral cues like light exposure during the day, a cool dark room at night, and limited caffeine after 2 p.m. play key roles in optimizing this process. If you're chasing better performance, less soreness, quicker recovery times, and sharper focus, this is your leverage point. Because one habit done right doesn't just support recovery, it amplifies it. The habit is sleep. Prioritize it like training, because recovery isn't what happens between workouts. Recovery is what makes the next workout possible. When we think about optimizing recovery, the first things that come to mind are usually nutrition, supplements, massages, or maybe cold plunges. But the most powerful and underutilized tool is also the most natural and accessible: sleep. It is not merely rest. It's a deeply active process where the body and brain engage in coordinated repair, recalibration, and growth. Sleep is the only time when the body enters a unique physiological state specifically designed to restore function and rebuild tissue at the cellular level. During sleep, especially in the early part of the night when deep, slow-wave sleep predominates, the brain signals the release of growth hormone, a key player in muscle repair, fat metabolism, and physical recovery. This hormone acts like an internal anabolic agent, promoting protein synthesis, muscle growth, and the repair of micro tears that occur during training. Without adequate and consistent sleep, this cascade of recovery simply doesn't happen at the same level. In fact, studies show that even partial sleep deprivation can blunt muscle protein synthesis, slow down glycogen replenishment, and increase inflammation, essentially stalling or even reversing progress. Sleep also plays a crucial role in regulating the autonomic nervous system. Intense training activates the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight branch. Sleep allows the parasympathetic system to take over, calming inflammation, reducing heart rate, and promoting a state of deep systemic recovery. This shift is essential not just for physical healing, but also for the resilience of the immune system, which directly affects how well the body handles stress and repairs itself. Beyond the muscles, sleep consolidates learning and motor memory, making it essential for skill-based sports or any movement requiring precision and coordination. If you're training to lift heavier, run faster, or refine a technical movement, sleep is the time when that neural circuitry gets reinforced. In short, sleep is not just one component of recovery, it's the foundation that all other recovery strategies rest upon. It primes the body for adaptation, rebuilds what's been broken down, and prepares the mind for the next challenge. Without it, you're training hard but limiting your return on investment. With it, you unlock the full potential of every rep, every session, and every day of effort. Deep sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep, SWS, is a phase of the sleep cycle that plays a uniquely powerful role in physical and neurological restoration. During this stage, the body and brain shift into a mode that prioritizes repair, recalibration, and recovery on a biochemical level. One of the most critical aspects of this phase is the release of neurochemicals that facilitate muscle regeneration, immune function, and nervous system balance. Among the most important of these neurochemicals is growth hormone, which is released in its highest concentrations during deep sleep. This hormone directly supports tissue repair, muscle growth, and fat metabolism. It's the body's built-in recovery signal, telling muscle fibers to rebuild and inflammation to decrease. Without sufficient deep sleep, growth hormone secretion is impaired, which compromises muscle repair and slows down recovery from both training and injury. Another key process during deep sleep is the clearance of metabolic waste from the brain through the glymphatic system. This system functions like a cleanup crew, flushing out neurotoxic byproducts that accumulate during waking hours, such as beta amyloid and tau proteins. This clearing process not only supports long-term brain health, but also enhances mental clarity, decision-making, and reaction time the following day, factors that directly affect performance in both physical and cognitive domains. Deep sleep also helps regulate levels of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. While cortisol is essential for energy regulation and alertness, chronically elevated levels, often the result of poor or sufficient sleep, can lead to muscle breakdown, impaired immunity, and increased fat storage. Deep sleep acts as a natural buffer, bringing cortisol levels down and promoting a state of hormonal equilibrium. Additionally, neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine undergo rebalancing during deep sleep. These chemicals influence mood, motivation, and reward perception, each of which plays a role in how we approach training, recovery, and consistency. Poor sleep can dysregulate these systems, leading to decreased drive and increased fatigue. In essence, deep sleep is the neurological command center for recovery. It governs the hormonal, immune, and nervous systems in a synchronized effort to repair and strengthen the body. Skipping or shortening this phase means missing out on the most potent restorative processes nature has to offer. If performance and recovery matter, deep sleep isn't optional. It's essential. Circadian alignment refers to syncing your sleep-wake cycle with the body's natural 24-hour internal clock, also known as the circadian rhythm. This internal clock governs not just when you feel sleepy or alert, but also regulates hormone release, body temperature, digestion, immune function, and cellular repair. Aligning your sleep and daily habits with this rhythm significantly enhances the quality of recovery, both mentally and physically. At the center of the circadian rhythm is the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, in the brain, which responds to environmental light cues. When you expose your eyes to natural sunlight early in the day, especially within the first 60 minutes of waking, it signals the SCN to anchor your internal clock. This helps regulate cortisol levels in the morning, which boosts alertness and energy, and sets a timer for the release of melatonin 12 to 16 hours later to prepare the body for sleep. Proper melatonin timing is essential for entering deep, restorative sleep cycles that are critical for recovery. Disruptions to this rhythm, such as irregular sleep times, late-night screen exposure, or shift work, can impair muscle recovery, reduce sleep efficiency, and dysregulate hormone patterns. Even if total sleep time remains the same, misaligned sleep leads to less time in deep and REM sleep, both of which are essential for physical repair and neurological integration. Hormones like testosterone, growth hormone, and insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, are strongly influenced by circadian timing. These anabolic hormones peak during the night when sleep is aligned with darkness. When circadian rhythms are disrupted by staying up late or waking at inconsistent hours, the production of these hormones diminishes, reducing the effectiveness of recovery and adaptation from training. Additionally, your core body temperature follows a circadian pattern, cooling slightly in the evening to promote sleep onset and increasing in the morning to support wakefulness. Sleeping out of sync with this natural temperature rhythm can impair sleep depth and duration, reducing the body's ability to heal microtraumas from exercise. Circadian alignment also enhances glymphatic clearance, the brain's way of removing waste products, which occurs most effectively during early sleep hours. For athletes and high performers, this means sharper mental focus, reduced inflammation, and improved mood regulation the next day. In short, recovery is not just about how long you sleep. It's also about when you sleep. Aligning with your natural biological clock amplifies every process your body uses to repair, rebuild, and come back stronger. Sleep is often misunderstood as a passive state, but in reality, it is a period of profound biological activity that directly contributes to performance gains across every dimension: strength, endurance, coordination, cognitive focus, and emotional resilience. When you sleep, particularly in the deep and REM stages, your body and brain are executing tightly coordinated programs designed to consolidate the adaptations triggered by training. This is when performance is hardwired into your biology. One of the key mechanisms by which sleep drives performance is through muscle adaptation. Training creates micro tears in muscle fibers. The actual rebuilding and strengthening of these fibers occur during sleep, especially during the early cycles of deep sleep when growth hormone peaks. Without adequate sleep, this repair process is incomplete, meaning you don't fully benefit from the effort you put into training. Over time, lack of sleep can reduce muscle mass, slow strength development, and increase the risk of overtraining. Sleep also plays a critical role in neuromuscular coordination and motor learning. During REM sleep, the brain replays and reinforces patterns of movement practice during the day. This helps you not only retain technical skills, but also execute them more fluidly and efficiently. Whether you're learning a new lift, improving running form, or refining a sport-specific technique, sleep literally strengthens the neural circuits involved in those movements. Cognitively, sleep enhances focus, reaction time, and decision-making, all essential elements of peak performance. Even mild sleep deprivation has been shown to impair attention, slow reflexes, and increase errors in judgment. In competitive or high-stakes environments, these deficits can translate into measurable performance losses, no matter how physically prepared you are. Emotionally, sleep supports resilience, stress regulation, and motivation. A well-rested brain handles adversity more calmly, sustains effort more effectively, and remains goal-focused under pressure. These qualities are essential for consistent performance and recovery over time. Perhaps most importantly, sleep provides a compounding advantage. Consistently good sleep doesn't just help you recover from today's workout, it makes tomorrow's workout more effective because your body and brain are starting from a more optimized baseline. Gains become more sustainable, injuries become less frequent, and plateaus become easier to break through. In essence, sleep is not separate from training, it is the final phase of it. Every night you sleep well, you're not just recovering, you're upgrading your capacity to perform. While the importance of sleep is well established, the quality of that sleep is what ultimately determines its effectiveness for recovery and performance. It's not just about logging 7 or 8 hours in bed, it's about achieving deep, uninterrupted, and consistent sleep cycles. Strategic protocols can dramatically enhance the quality of sleep by aligning biology, environment, and behavior to support the body's natural rhythms and restorative processes. One of the most impactful strategies is managing light exposure. Natural sunlight early in the day, especially within the first hour of waking, helps regulate your circadian rhythm, setting your internal clock, and promoting earlier melatonin release at night. In contrast, exposure to artificial blue light in the evening, especially from phones, tablets, or overhead LEDs, suppresses melatonin, delays sleep onset, and disrupts sleep architecture. Minimizing screen time 1-2 hours before bed or using blue light filters can mitigate this effect significantly. Temperature regulation is another critical factor. The body naturally lowers its core temperature to initiate and maintain deep sleep. Sleeping in a cool environment, typically between 60-67 DCC, facilitates this process. Taking a warm shower or bath 60-90 minutes before bed can also help by triggering a drop in core body temperature afterward, signaling the body that it's time for rest. Caffeine and alcohol timing play a major role in sleep quality. Caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours, meaning that afternoon consumption can still affect sleep latency and reduce time spent in deep sleep. Alcohol may initially induce drowsiness, but it fragments sleep and suppresses REM, which is crucial for cognitive and emotional restoration. Avoiding both several hours before bedtime can greatly improve sleep depth. Consistent sleep and wake times, even on weekends, reinforce circadian alignment and stabilize hormone cycles. Irregular sleep patterns confuse the body's internal clock, making it harder to fall asleep quickly and enter restorative stages. Additionally, incorporating a wind-down routine, such as dimming lights, reading a physical book, stretching, or practicing breathwork, can reduce sympathetic nervous system activity and cue the brain to shift into recovery mode. Together, these protocols do more than just help you fall asleep faster. They increase the proportion of time spent in the most restorative stages of sleep, where the real recovery happens. Implementing them transforms sleep from a passive habit into an active recovery tool that works in your favor every single night. In the pursuit of better performance, faster recovery, and lasting physical adaptation, sleep is not a luxury. It is the cornerstone. It is during sleep, especially deep and aligned sleep, that the body repairs, the brain resets, and progress is truly made. From the powerful surge of growth hormone to the neurological consolidation of motor skills, from inflammation reduction to emotional resilience, sleep weaves together every element of recovery into a unified process. But it's not just about more sleep. It's about smarter sleep. Aligning with your circadian rhythm, reducing artificial light exposure, maintaining a cool and quiet sleep environment, and staying consistent with your sleep schedule are all simple, science-backed strategies that supercharge sleep quality. These protocols amplify the effects of your training, nutrition, and mindset by enhancing the one habit that governs them all. When you prioritize sleep as seriously as your workouts, you unlock the full regenerative capacity of your body and brain. You don't just recover, you evolve, because sleep isn't what happens after the work is done. Sleep is the work that makes you better.